Well, hello, and welcome to this presentation by the ReLife. I am Kelly Laverne, your ReLife coach, and today we're going to look at the 8 steps to achieve any goal. The presentation is being recorded, so you'll be able to watch the replay at any time. But before we begin, I encourage you to grab a pen and a notebook so you can take some notes as you follow along. And at the end of the presentation, there will be a survey for you to complete. Now, if you're well on your way to achieving your goals, that's great. Perhaps these 8 steps will give you a fresh perspective. For those that are just starting out or somewhere in the middle, I hope that you will learn something new or be reminded of something long forgotten, or perhaps get the push you need to get started. Now, this presentation is a scaled down version of some of the topics discussed with my clients during their individual sessions. During those sessions, we dig in to identify the goal, set achievable objectives with timelines, and then we work together to achieve those goals. This presentation is being offered as a resource to you at no cost. I invite you to check out my website, relifecoach.com, for more information or to contact me if you have any questions. My contact info is also provided at the end of this presentation, and I'm also on social media, and those links will be provided there as well. Thank you for connecting with the ReLife, where you can renew, revive, recover, restore, refresh, refocus, reestablish your goals, your dreams, yourself. So let's begin. The agenda for today, we're going to look at, as I mentioned, the 8 steps: know, write, believe, remind, be passionate, break it down, reward, and stay positive. Some of you may be familiar with these topics or already know. So as I stated earlier, perhaps this will give you a fresh perspective or that little reminding push you need to continue on. Before setting a goal, one thing that's important that we all have to do is know what a goal is. This is going to sound very basic, but I want to cover it to make sure that everybody is on the same page. A goal is something you want to achieve. It's a desired result that you or a group of people plan and commit to achieving. So, a goal simply is something you want to achieve. Goals are often long term. Now, we do know that you can have short term and long term goals. But goals, the big picture goals, are often long term. They relate to people's life, career plans, or long term goals of a company or organization. Put it simply, if you think about it, a goal is your dream with a deadline. That dream that you have, that thing that you always wanted to do, a goal is a dream with a deadline. Some characteristics of what goals are and what they are not. So let's look at what a goal is. First, it is your vision for the future. I like to add it is your vision for your future. A goal is time sensitive. As we said, it has a deadline and it's typically large in nature. So a goal wouldn't be you want to go to the store. That's not something that's large. A goal might be you want to own a store. That's large in nature. Now, a goal is not an objective. While goals describe what you want to achieve, objectives are the steps, the plans that you take to reach those goals. An example here is if someone wants to become a confident public speaker, that's a goal. And what they do to achieve that goal is an objective. They work with a coach to practice their public speaking skills by the end of the month. See, they put a timeline on it by the end of the month. A goal is not a resolution. Now, as the year ends and a new year rolls in, a lot of us make resolutions. Nothing wrong with them. Resolutions are often temporary, though, giving a short term gratification. While a resolution is a decision to do or not do something, we usually, resolve to, my resolution is I'm going to exercise. My resolution is I'm going to lose weight. My resolution is I'm going to, stop eating unhealthy. A goal is something you want to achieve. So while it's similar, there is a slight difference. There's a slight difference. A resolution is something that you're not going to do. I resolve, I'm not going to do this, or that you're going to do, I'm going to do this. But a goal is something that you want to achieve. To me, it sets the bar a little higher. A goal is not a mission. Now, a lot of people have mission statements, personal, which are great. Companies, organizations have them. But mission statements create a clear and focused direction to follow. It's the statement of purpose from which a company, business, or an individual operates. On the other hand, a goal is a specific aim you work toward. Okay, so that's just a little background on what a goal is and what a goal is not. So now we look at topic number one: know exactly what you want. This may sound crazy because how would anybody set a goal if they didn't know what they want? May sound obvious, but unless you know exactly what you want, how can you achieve it? It's important in our goals that we put down details, numbers, and dates so we can plan better. It helps us to have a clear focus, a very clear focus of what we want to do in order to receive it. So we need exact details, specifics of what goal you want to accomplish. Okay? The more details, the better. You can have a goal of wanting to buy a home. Where? When? What's in the home? How many bedrooms? Do you want, gas heat, electric heat? How many bathrooms? Square footage? Do you want a yard, a lawn? So the more details, the better prepared you are to plan to receive it. Okay, so exactly, know exactly. I can't specify that enough, stress that enough. Know exactly what you want. Then, once you know it, topic two, write it down. Write it down. It's important that we document our goals. Again, giving as much detail and specifics as we can. Now, I'm one, I don't know if it's a bad habit or a good habit, but I will take a sticky note and write down something in a heartbeat. I'm writing it down, so I am doing part of it, the process, but my problem comes into play that now the sticky notes are all over the place. So if you're like me with the sticky notes, or perhaps you grab a piece of paper, I do that too. I'll tear a notebook piece of paper out and write something down. At least have a binder, a folder, a book somewhere that you put it all together so you can easily find it. Write down your goals. This is the one technique that sorts out the people who succeed and the people who fail. We're constantly reminded how important it is to write down our goals, yet very, very few of us do it. Or if we do, we'd have no organization to it, like myself. According to research, you're 95% more likely to achieve your goal if it's written down. 95% more likely. So it's vital, it's key that we write our goals down. And when we do, that we have them someplace that they're easily accessible. I know today we have modern technology where you can, do a audio clip of your goal. You can send like a short memo. You can, have it in a virtual or a computerized or digital, that's the word I was looking for, a digital, notebook that you have an app on your phone or computer. If that's what you're using and it's working, great. The one benefit of that is you'll always have it with you. For me, it's something about writing, putting that pen to paper that really helps, I don't know, solidify it or lock it in or make it real for me. But as long as you're documenting it and you have it accessible, you're well on your way to achieving your goal. So write it down. Topic number 3, believe. Now you may say, of course I believe it. I'm writing it down. It's something that I want to do. But we have to keep in mind that we want to make sure our goals are achievable. That is something that you can physically, mentally, emotionally, financially do. And I'm not saying you have to do them alone. I'm a woman of faith, and I know that with God, I can do all things. But what I'm pointing out here is if you try to achieve a goal that you don't truly believe in, you have to believe in it. You have to believe that you can do it. Your subconscious mind will not allow you to achieve it. Our subconscious plays a crucial, a vital role in the things that we do and that we don't do. So it's important that you believe you can do it. Even if you have to repeat it over and over to yourself, you have to believe it. You have to in order to achieve it. You're only, if not, you'll only succeed is tearing yourself up inside. You'll get into that spiraling situation of negative self-talk where you're just, it's a slippery slope once you start. I knew I couldn't do it. Oh, I'm going to fail. I'm always a failure. No, you don't want to go down that road. Again, that's a slippery slope that a lot of times I have to help my clients come back from. So believe it. Number 3, believe that you can achieve it. There's a quote here by Napoleon Hill that says, whatever the man of mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Believe it. That's number 3. That's crucial. And really, all of these are crucial. But number 3, you can know exactly what you want. You can write it down. You can do all the steps that you want and have all the charts and maps and plans laid out. If you don't believe it, it will not happen. So you have to believe. Topic number 4, remind yourself. We need to consistently remind ourselves of the goal. Consistently. We have to focus on it. The more we repeat it, our subconscious mind will program it in. Again, your subconscious mind is powerful. So the more you believe it, the more you repeat it, it'll become programmed in your subconscious and you're more likely to succeed. So we have to remind ourselves of the goal. There are a variety of techniques that we can use, including repeating affirmations, using subliminal software, such as setting up a screensaver. Here I am with my Post-it notes again. I use those to remind myself of the goal. I have those inspirational quotes on Post-it notes that'll help me to keep my focus. I'm at a period in my life where now I've refocused and I want to keep that focus. If you spend a lot of time on your computer, there's, software that can flash messages. I'm not familiar with any of them personally. I have not used them, but I've heard that there's some out there. Or like I said, just basic things. Hang it up. Hang it up. Take a picture of it, draw a picture of it, or just write the word, whatever your goal is, and have it hung up around your house or have it at your desk in the bathroom. Go old school, tape it to the mirror so that you can see it, to keep it in front of you. It's important that you have that goal in front of you. Let's look at topic 5. Be passionate about your goal. And that's why you need to have it in front of you. You're not going to be passionate about something that you never see, never think about, never talk about. You need to be passionate about your goal. It needs to drive you. Now, keep this in mind. You are the owner of your goal, no one else. You have the power to achieve it or to not achieve it. That power doesn't belong to anybody else but you. So, as the owner, take ownership of it and be passionate about it. Talk about it. Tell people about it. Think about it. Dream about it. Keep that fire burning, that passion for that goal. You're far more likely to achieve it if it excites you. If it excites you, think about all the benefits you'll have once you achieve your goal. Imagine how you would feel, how different life would be, but it has to excite you. If your goal doesn't excite you, then you have the wrong goal. If your goal doesn't excite you, it can't excite me. You can't, it's not going to, you don't base it on exciting others, but the excitement about your goal should be so overflowing that it does excite somebody when you talk about it. The people that are for you, that is. So make sure you're passionate about it. Have it, the goal needs to be, again, something that is going to excite you, something that's going to light your fire, something that's going to keep you focused the times that you want to give up and throw in the towel. It has to be something that you're passionate about. Number 6, break it down into bite-sized chunks. Break it down into bite-sized chunks. There's a saying, you probably heard it. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. How do you achieve those big goals? One chunk at a time. If you have really big goals, that's great. The only way you'll be big is to think big. However, sometimes you may need to break it down into smaller, immediate goals. It makes it easier for you to believe it's possible, and it helps you organize yourself on the short, medium, and long term. I briefly talked about short-term goals. So out of your large goal, what are some short-term goals? What are some objectives that you can do now to achieve it? An example, I talked about buying a house, making sure that you know exactly what type of house you want, where you want it, what's in the house. So before, that's the large goal. But before you can buy a house, you have to have some type of financial plan. So what is your financial plan towards buying a house? Are you saving? Are you looking for grants? Are you looking for, funding? Those are things that would be bite-sized chunks. Those are things that would be fall into the short-term goal or short-term planning of that bigger picture of buying a house. Even packing up your belongings. That's part of a short-term goal of your larger goal of buying a house. So you have to break it down into smaller bites. It helps you to believe it. It helps you to stay passionate about it. Because as you achieve those smaller goals, those smaller chunks, it'll fuel your passion, your excitement. You'll believe even more that you can do it. It becomes doable. You have to believe. So if you have to break it down, it doesn't matter how many short-term goals or how many chunks you break it down into. That's relative to you and to your goal. I help my clients with this, helping them to identify what could be done now. Even an example of someone looking to buy a house. You may not have a penny saved, but what can you do now to start moving toward that goal? Those are things that we look at. So it's important to break it down. Don't try to jump and do the whole thing at once. You don't want to set yourself up for failure. The goal here is to succeed at fulfilling your goal. Number 7, reward yourself along the way. It is important that you celebrate those victories, as I just mentioned, when you're achieving some of those chunks or some of those shorter term goals or steps. It's important that you reward yourself and celebrate even the smallest victory. It's important that you reward yourself. Every time you have some success, make sure you reward yourself. As I said, it helps to keep the desire and enthusiasm burning. It helps to keep that passion going for you to achieve your goal. It also tells that subconscious mind, you are doing it. You can do it. You will achieve the goal. Okay? It helps to break that cycle of negative self-talk or negative thinking. So reward yourself, celebrate. It's funny, I managed a team, and some years ago, we would have one department that seemed like they were always getting recognized for something. And, my team wasn't included in that recognition process. But what I started doing, and this is going to may sound so, elementary because it reminds me of elementary school, is I got some little stickers that, great job, way to go. And when somebody did something, I would give them a sticker. And it really brought joy to the team. It boosted the morale. And they were prominently, displaying their stickers and looking at how many, one had versus the other. And it just made it fun. It made, a job, many of us who, work, jobs can become repetitive and sometimes even boring. And sometimes you feel like you go unrecognized. But just doing that small thing helped to boost the morale of the team, and it made everybody's day, go easier. And it made people a little bit more passionate and focused on their job. So the same applies here. When you have a goal, reward yourself. Now, on the former slide we looked at, we saw a massage. If you can get a massage, great. If you can't, reward yourself with a piece of candy. Unless your goal is to eat healthy, you may want to use, some yogurt or other type of reward. But reward yourself. Nonetheless, pat yourself on the back. You deserve it. Reward yourself for even taking this presentation or watching this presentation. That's a step that many people will just gloss over and never look at it. So it's important that you reward yourself because you have a desire to achieve your goal. Other people may, but they may not take the steps that's necessary to do it. So give yourself a pat on the back for, like I said, just even watching this presentation, participating in this presentation. Topic number 8. We're coming to the end. Number 8, stay positive. Stay positive at all times. I know it's easier said than done, but stay positive. One thing that will help you to stay positive is the fact that you're rewarding yourself along the way, that you're seeing the progress that you make. Don't let anybody take that from you. Ultimately, the only person who can stop you achieving your goals is you. I mentioned that earlier. You own it. Fear and self-doubt are common enemies, but are only created in your mind. They're only in your mind. And that's why you have to stay passionate. You have to have a goal that excites you so that you can push past fear. You can push past self-doubt. They will come. It's going to pop up. But you need that excitement, that passion. That goal has to be so worth it that you're willing to overcome and push past those things and the other obstacles that would try to get in your way. This is something that I help my clients with. You are in control here when it comes to your goals, and you can do it. You must also make sure that you're concentrating on what you do want. What you do want, not what you don't. There's another saying that, don't rehearse the problem, rehearse the solution. Don't focus on what you do not want. An example of buying a house, don't focus on, I don't want to stay in this apartment forever. Or I don't want to live with my parents forever. Or I don't want to have a roommate forever. I don't want it. I don't want to. Focus on what you do want. You have to refocus and concentrate on the goal of buying the house, because that will help you stay positive, not what you don't want. And remember, the only way you fail is if you give up. You own this. You got this. You can do it. These are some basic things that we looked at. Many of us probably have heard them before, known them before, and even applied them before. But somewhere we may have gotten discouraged or fallen off track, and now it's time to re-up. It's time to refocus, to reestablish, to revive, to renew our goals, to get them accomplished. You can do it. So, in summary, as we wrap this up, these are the 8 things that we talked about. Know exactly what you want. I mean, exactly down to the detail, the minutest detail. It helps you. The more details you have, the better. I mean, even to I just keep going to the easy example of buying a house. Know what color you want the walls to be. What flooring you want. Have the exact details, because that'll help to paint that picture in your mind. Write it down and believe it. Believe it. Believe that you can achieve it. Remind yourself constantly of the goal. Again, when I was saying write those details down, if you have a picture of a house or a picture of whatever you want, or you write it out, or it's a word, remind yourself. Post it around the house. Keep the picture with you. Be passionate about it. You got to have a passion. That passion is going to be your fuel that keeps you going, that excitement. Break it down into bite-sized chunks. You don't have to accomplish it all today and all at once. Break it down. And then reward yourself along the way. Celebrate, even starting today, again, for participating in this presentation, for watching it. Reward yourself. And then stay positive at all times. I'm not saying these steps are easy, but they're doable and you can do it. Surround yourself with like-minded people, people that have a goal, people that are focused, people that are on point and want to succeed, because that'll also help to fuel you along the way. Here's a quote by Nora Roberts: "If you don't go after what you want, you'll never have it. If you don't go after it, you'll never have it. So take the step, get started. Perhaps you're already started. Keep going. That's great. Keep going. Don't give up." Here's some information about me. Again, my name is Kelly Laverne. I am your RElife coach, and RElife was started in January of 2023. And, I had a rough period back in 2022, and I'm sure a lot of us did, because that's the year the pandemic hit. But in addition to that, I found it hard to find support for people that were going through a divorce as I was. And then also, I lost my father at that time, and it was a rough period. And after going through that, I realized that there wasn't really the type of um, support or groups or environment that I was looking for. So I prayed about it, took some further educational courses, and that's how the RElife coaching program was formed. The mission of RElife is to assist, to coach women, particularly, who are in the process of renewing, reviving, recovering, restoring, refreshing, refocusing, reestablishing their lives, or just looking for a fresh start, help with achieving goals, fulfilling dreams, or looking, to begin again. It's never too late to begin again. If you want to find out more information about how, I can help you, my contact information is on the screen. The website is relifecoach.com. The phone number is 980-284-4314. And the email is relifecoach@klaverne.com. My services are virtual. I am based out of the state of North Carolina, but again, my services are virtual, over the phone, video conferencing, so I can assist and provide services to you no matter what location you may be currently in. I just want to thank you for participating in today's presentation. I hope you got something out of it. If it was that extra spark or push you needed to get refocus and back at it on your goals, I am grateful and I appreciate you. If you're watching the replay of this, thank you so much for taking your time to do so. I really appreciate you. Please share this information with those you know who may be interested or this may benefit. I'm asking that you complete a survey to help us to continue to provide tools and resources. Please just take a moment to fill this out. There's a button that says click here. Hopefully that'll work depending on what device that you're watching this on or participating in this course on. There is a QR code. If the click button doesn't work, there's a QR code. And lastly, there is a link that will take you to the survey. It's a quick survey, probably takes less than 2 minutes to complete, but just it'll help us to continue to provide further tools and resources. Again, my name is Kelly Laverne. I am your RElife coach, and I thank you so much for participating in this presentation.